I've been unable to attend most of your meetings that you've had. Shouldn't be at this one here today because I got neighbors out gathering cattle, but that's this time of year. First off, I want to thank you guys for having these meetings. I hope you listen to what people are saying, because it's pretty emotional. You guys don't want to insult your intelligence, because I'm sure you're probably all pretty well educated. Mr. Stubendick, I know quite a few students that have been underneath you, got the highest respect for you. I don't think you people understand what you're doing. I really don't. Because there probably ain't the one of you ever fenced out a blowout, hayed down a windmill trail, took a fence around a blowout. All the power poles that I've been out to when I'm on a fire department, on a volunteer fire department, there's 10 to 20 foot of bare sand around each one of them. That's the little ones. You can't stop that. You build a fence around it, sand's around your fence. There's trails through my place been made by covered wagons through the wet areas. You still see them. You're not going to fix it. I don't care how smart anybody thinks they are. You know, the fire department is depending on the tax dollars of everybody in the whole county. When you start putting extra people and extra equipment out in them hills, there's going to be more fires. I don't care what kind of ground rods you got, how much static electricity there is. There's wheel bearings that go out. There's stuff that happens. You're 40 miles from anywhere that's got a fire truck after you leave. We got half-ton pickups to try to get out there, and it's 10 miles gone, and you've ruined that guy's pasture for 15 years. You don't take into account that. None of you have. The fence posts that you got to put in, you don't think you see enough participation from the numbers you got up here. I got 3 neighbors out there now that want to be in here, but they're gathering my cattle because I wanted to come. The Sandhills people are kind of taken to themselves. I wasn't fortunate enough to be born to Sandhills, but I've been in here for 30 years. And it's a different breed of people. They take care of themselves. They don't ask for anything else, especially not this. You've got other corridors to use. You can't tell me that you people ain't intelligent enough to use them. And for you, Mr. Alan Bierman, if you talk about eminent domain and that's what you need to do, then you ain't no better than President Obama with his executive decision. And that is shame on all of you. And I hope this hits, I hope a lot of these statements hit the papers and stuff, because you guys need to wake up. I'm not even in this where this power line is going to go through, but I've gathered bulls and I've helped neighbors gather cattle where a four-wheeler up the wrong hill will start a blow-up. And you think you're going to take this equipment in there, and you think that and you know from what you've taught the kids, this is possible. These are very, very fragile hills and very wet meadows that people don't even go out there and hay on themselves when it's too wet. Because 40 years ago there was somebody that did that and the ruts are still there. I've got some in mind. You people have the power. We do not. You want to know why it's easier and cheaper to go across the Sandhills? Because there's fewer of us and we're easy prey. That's my opinion. I know it's going to cost more money, but you can't tell me if you have a tornado go through there and it tears up that line that it ain't going to be 6 times cheaper to fix it along Highway 20 than it is 30 miles out in them hills. And that's a fact. It ain't a matter of when that'll happen. It's going to happen. I've asked neighbors not to take their own pickup across my pastures because it's opened up some old blowouts. I don't think, I know for a fact, none of you have any idea what we're talking about. My brother-in-law's got a plane. I flew this route. I flew every one of your routes. I guarantee you, I get you in a plane, take you up there, I send you out there with a bald-tired pickup, two-wheel drive pickup, and when you're done walking 3 miles out because you got stuck, then you see if you can get your excavator up some of them hills. It's going to be a lot more than a 100-foot corridor on each side to get up them. Or you'll tip it over. Because them are mean hills. Sometimes we got to go 3 miles around with a windmill rig to get a well pulled. Or we got to put 33-inch tires on a half-ton pickup to make it through a blowout. You cannot open up them hills. If you do, it's the saddest thing I've ever seen. I've been to these public hearings before. I hope it's not just for show. I really, really do. Because I've heard stories about Southern Power Pool pushing for this. I hope that's not true. I hope it is a Nebraska-based deal. There is no way that you can service that line out there decent. No way. Any one of you want to come out next week, I'll take you on my four-wheeler. We'll drive the route. We'll take lunch. I'll drive you the route. It'll open some people's eyes. That a horse is the only decent route. I mean, each one of you are educated, been up, public speak, how many times? Hundreds of times. These people back here and a lot of people that are not going to show up, they don't want the confrontation because that's the way they live. They don't ask for confrontation and they don't want it. And so you go 60 or 100 feet away from an existing line somewhere, you put another one there. Don't dissect the Sandhills. That is foolish. Everything I have read, in my personal opinion, when the government subsidy goes away, wind generators ain't going to cut it. 25-year expectancy, then they got to be replaced. I see some down by Lincoln and Springview, they don't even run anymore. If they were that good a deal, them would still be running. But I really don't think that you have a clue. I really don't. If you did, you wouldn't be here today. None of us would be. You know, the amount of landowners along this route is fewer. Yeah, it's probably cheaper, I'll give you that. Dang right it is. Might be a few miles cheaper. You know, 20 years ago when we decided to buy a place, we looked at several in the Sandhills. 2 of them we decided against right away because you know why? They either had a pipeline or a high line. $20,000 an acre, or $20,000 a section, don't even come close to what that's going to do to that ground. Not even scratching. It was back 20 years ago, it was more than $20,000 a section cheaper to buy that ground with that on it, let alone today. The wetlands, the damage that you're going to do, the range fires, you guys get in your pickup car, whatever you got, and go out here on the top of the hill there north of Burwell. There's a sign up there. And take a picture of it with your cell phones because it says range fires are destructive. Help prevent them. This project ain't going to do that. Yeah, there's several people here that the line's going to go through their place and they don't like it. By God, I'd fight tooth and nail. I would. It's not going to go through my place, but I know what it's going to do, where it is going to go through. And I'm going to be the one out there fighting fire. You guys ain't. And I hope to God that something comes out of this, all these. Because probably 70% of the people that should be here talking like I am, I probably talk too much. My wife didn't think I should probably come up here. I might say something that I shouldn't, where it's been recorded. I ain't saying half of what I'd like to say. But got a friend of mine, very good friends on the NRD board. It's something for you to think about, take home with you. He's drilled wells, worked on irrigation engines, done all kinds of well work for years. They asked him to be on the NRD board. He did not have time to be on it. But he said all the other people that were on that NRD board, very, very, very intelligent people, every one of them. But he said they look to him because he has the answers and they just don't know. And he said they'll tell him that. And that's the one participant that you're missing here, is somebody that's been in the Sandhills for their whole life, that had the input to tell you people that this is wrong. That participant's missing. You need another chair. You know, people have agendas. You have an agenda. Everybody back here has an agenda. I was hauling some corn up to the feedlot up here during harvest earlier. Stopped in the subway to get a sandwich. There's several of us in there. 6 teenagers from Burwell High School standing around there in the morning talking about this art project. Every one of them lives out in the Sandhills talking about what it's going to do. Of course, I'm sure they had probably conversations with their folks, breakfast, whatever. But they didn't have an agenda. They were kids in school trying to learn. And the one thing that I took out of that conversation is they said it's going to go through because the money's going to push it. That is your guys' job, to keep that from happening. Every one of you. You wanted some comments? I hope you listen. Thank you.